So, hello everyone. As Nikki said, my name is Borissov. I will be delivering the training on continuous integration with Jenkins. This is, of course, the agenda for today. This is the first session that you see in the list on DevOps. A brief info about me. Well, like Nikki said, I have experience in the IT sector for more than 50 years now. I have worked in big international companies like SAP and Progress Software, to name a few. I am especially interested in the area of DevOps in today's IT world. I do often training on DevOps transformation. I also consult companies in that domain, how they can leverage these new ideas and transform their processes in a way that is more efficient. I'm also accredited by a few international DevOps oriented organizations like DASA for one, which is the DevOps and Agile Skills Association. I will be doing the training on Jenkins with you, whoever decides to attend it. And also my main title currently is DevOps Transformational Leader. So what would be the schedule for our training with you on Jenkins? Well, it would be split amongst 3 weeks, as you see here on this slide on the calendar. We would be starting, our first event would be on November 30th this year. The schedule for the training would be always Monday, Tuesday, and then Friday. We would go for 4 hours of training per day, starting each time at 10 a.m. Georgian Standard Time. So if you multiply these numbers, you'll see that this effectively gives us 4 full days of 8 hours. And then there is also one bonus day, which is the December 18th, the last one on the calendar here, which this session is dedicated to exam preparation. So for those of you who maybe decide to take the exam after this preparation, they would be benefiting this possibility that we would sit and for 4 hours only go through suggestions how to prepare better for the taking of the official exam. And when we're talking about official exam, of course, this would be the official exam provided by the company CloudBees, who is the vendor behind the Jenkins software. So just to recap, 3 weeks, Monday, Tuesday, Friday, always starting at 10 a.m. your time. All right, so what will this training include? Well, it would be split into 2 distinct sections. First one being how we do pipelines in Jenkins, and the other one being how do we administer a Jenkins instance. So in regard to doing pipelines in Jenkins, we are going to start with some very simple, brief pipeline in Jenkins. Then we are going to expand that pipeline with more steps inside of it, doing more comprehensive work. We are going to explore what are alternative ways to define a pipeline in Jenkins. What is the modern way, which is the most important one as of now. We're going to look into some, of course, advanced features of those pipelines in Jenkins. And then we are going to concentrate on the actual administration of a Jenkins instance. This section of the course starts with the provisioning of a brand new Jenkins installation. We are going to also, of course, find our way around managing plugins in Jenkins, because in Jenkins world, plugins are very important, and most of the functionality you can extract out of a Jenkins instance comes precisely through plugins. We are going to also learn about notifications and what are the best practices in Jenkins administration. And very importantly, we are going to find our way around using the Jenkins CLI or command line interface. In today's DevOps world, of course, DevOps professionals are always striving to use CLIs for any particular software and for any particular task administration tasks as much as possible. CLIs make this happen very easily and in a practical manner. So, who is this topic suitable for? Well, as you see here on the slide, there is a variety of IT roles in today's world that would highly benefit from this training. And here on the screen, we see role software engineer, we see QA engineer as well. We also see DevOps engineer, system administrators. Well, why is that shown on the slide? Because different companies in today's world, different IT companies, I mean, are at different stages of their DevOps transformation. And so some companies are only just starting and they are still using their original legacy job descriptions. And they are saying this person right here in our team is a system administrator. But he would have to start picking up these new technologies in today's DevOps spectrum. So this would be one rendering why system administrator is placed here on the slide. But then on the other hand, there are these other companies that are already significantly ahead in their DevOps transformation journey. And they are already saying, well, within our team is first of all a DevOps team. And within our DevOps team, all of our professionals are all of them just DevOps engineers, and we don't do any more further distinguishing. So in that case, we would simply say that all team members are DevOps engineers. And of course, the most popular tool in today's world for doing pipeline automation, which is Jenkins, is it suitable for those professionals? Yeah, absolutely. This is a very important thing for them to have under their possession of skills and capabilities. So if I am in a more legacy oriented IT team and my role is a QA engineer, do I need to pick up this new skill, which is using Jenkins? Well, yeah, definitely. Because remember, if you're the QA engineer, you should be striving for automation of the software tests, which are making sure that the quality stays at the same level or improves, but doesn't decrease. So if you are the QA engineer and you should be going for automated tests, then how would you execute those? Well, definitely you would want in today's world to automate the execution of those tests. So to do so, you would have to prepare the relevant steps, tools, and automations for those test executions to happen inside of a pipeline. And that brings us again to Jenkins, because remember, in today's world, Jenkins is the most popular software. If you go and look into some surveys by companies like DevOps.io, or maybe if you even go to Stack Overflow and you check what is the popularity of today's tools, you would see that Jenkins is far ahead of anything else. So yeah, this was just to give you an example that any of these roles is definitely a good candidate to pick up this new skill. Now, if you ask us, well, how can I guarantee or highly increase my chances of taking the exam? Well, first of all, you should make sure that you will be attending all of the sessions, or the training sessions that we are going to do together. And if you remember my previous slide with the calendar, this is a total of 8 days that you should attend the trainings. And very importantly, you should make sure that you are indeed completing every single exercise that we do on these trainings. There will be a lot of practical exercises because this is a kind of training which is a so-called hands-on training. You will be having a virtual lab environment, so each of the attendees would have their own dedicated VM machine that they would use as their own during the course of the training. And this means that every day they will be logging to this machine when we start the training, and you would have to follow what we are showing in this training and the exercises that we do. You have to make sure that you're able to finish them. Sometimes, of course, technical issues happen. That's what we are here for, to help you resolve those and then make sure that you're able to complete the exercises. And last but not least, it would really help you if you do attend the bonus session that we do, which is the 9th day in the calendar, where we are concentrating solely on the exam preparation. So if you do all these 3 items, we are pretty confident you will be in a good shape to take the exam. Now, just to give you some ideas, how can you further apply this knowledge that you would gain here on this training in your practice? Well, let's think it through together. If you take this course and learn about Jenkins, how to use it in a way that is best practice oriented, how to administer, how to provision new instance. So first of all, you'll be knowledgeable about the most popular pipeline automation tool in today's world, which is a big advantage already. So you would also be able to provision and administer a Jenkins instance, like I said. You would be able to configure and support DevOps pipelines in Jenkins. So, like I said earlier, if you are a QA engineer historically, then you will be able to simply prepare the automation and add them to the Jenkins pipeline so they get picked up and executed automatically. If you are a release engineer historically, you would be able to prepare and configure the necessary automation for deploying your applications to the relevant environments, maybe also to production. If you are historically the software engineer in a team, so you'll be able to prepare and configure the DevOps pipeline, the continuous integration of your code, which of course is the compilation, the linting, the quality checks of your code, etc. And so what I mean to say is that ultimately you would be worth actually to pursue a career in DevOps. So let's say you are a system engineer, a system administrator in a certain team, in a certain IT company. You could say, well, now I want to pick up my career and be a DevOps engineer and really embrace these modern practices and really be more effective in my job. So here are 3 ideas how you can further your career once you pick up this new knowledge. So like I said already, first of all, you can simply evolve your IT career into a DevOps engineer role. So you can say, well, I'm no longer just a QA engineer. I'm no longer just a systems administrator. I am now a complete DevOps engineer, meaning I'm aware of the full spectrum of patterns and practices that are required in today's world to deliver a new version of a software efficiently directly to our customers in a way that is oriented to best practices and oriented to making sure that the best possible quality of the software is preserved, etc. So what next? Definitely, you can improve your productivity in your job by knowing how to leverage automation in today's world. Because during the training, we will be focused on Jenkins, but as Jenkins is a pipeline automation tool, inevitably this means that we'll have to look at some standard tools in today's world, which most often than not should be included in a good-looking pipeline. So what I mean by that is, if your software, of course, requires third-party packages for it to run successfully, then in your pipeline, of course, you would have to get those third-party packages from somewhere, or restore, if you will. And then you would have to scan those packages for security compliance if they have any known vulnerabilities or not. So inevitably, we'll have to look with you during the course of this training into some third-party vulnerability scanning. And this is just one example out of many, meaning that while we're learning Jenkins, we would also be learning what are standard tools in today's DevOps world that you should be including in your pipelines. And so if you learn all these new skills, then you will be able to literally join a new team that is maybe not so far ahead in their DevOps transformation, and you can really help them transform into DevOps best practices. You could be their internal consultant, if you will. So you see how much the DevOps world would open to you after this particular training. Of course, how the class would go, like I showed you earlier, what is included in this course, topics would simply follow through one next to another. Here with the orange color is the first section of the course, like I mentioned earlier, and then the blue boxes are the second section of the course, oriented around provisioning and administration of a Jenkins instance. So this brings me to the conclusion of my presentation of the course today. And now it's time to open up to you guys to raise your questions, and hopefully we can resolve them.
Can you confirm or repeat the hours for lectures?
Yes. So we are starting on November 30th. So this is in a few weeks from now. This is our first session. The starting hour is always 10 a.m. Georgian Standard Time. 10 a.m. Georgian Standard Time. And then each week we would go Monday, Tuesday, and then Friday. So Wednesday and Thursday would always be non-learning days. At least we don't have a session at that day. And especially you have to bring your attention to the last date on the calendar, which is December 18th, 2020. Again, at 10 a.m. Georgian Standard Time, we're going to have a session together for exam preparation. Does that answer the question, Nikki?
Yes.
Thank you.
And second question, I just look, this is more general. This is like a question answer event. We will have such a question answer event to summarize all the questions from the previous event, from this event on 24th of November. This is Tuesday. And other questions for DevOps. They question for asking for further DevOps courses like container orchestration, Python automation, configuration management tools. Are there any plans for this?
Any plans for another course?
Yes, for another course, as most of audience may know, this is a first part of a project for 500 students. And after this project completes, there will be another round, and most probably the training topics will be different. And if there is significant demand from the students and from the customers and followers. There may be another course which deeper digging into the Python automation related to DevOps. This, just to confirm, currently we have this course, and after this 500 are trained and certified, on the next round there is possibility to have more detailed DevOps course. Docker or Kubernetes? This is a question from Tsotne. I'm sorry if I don't pronounce your name. What about Docker or Kubernetes? Ross?
Yeah, well, I believe this question also goes into the category that you just described. Well, Docker and Kubernetes would not be a topic for the Jenkins course, but this is something that could be considered for the next phase of this project if there, of course, is significant demand for doing such a course.
And second question from another of our guests: what scripting language we use in pipelines?
We would be using standard Jenkins scripting language, and also we would be doing some UI-based Jenkins pipelines. We will start with that, and then we will move to scripting.
Okay, thank you. Second question from another of our guests: in DevOps world, is it enough only Jenkins for beginning? I know nothing is enough for IT, but just for the third steps.
Well, if anyone is able to use a pipeline orchestration tool like Jenkins is, then this is a good start for their career in DevOps. And now, which is the most popular pipeline orchestration tool in today's world? Well, definitely Jenkins. So that's a great start.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. As many times ago, there is a popular phrase from Bill Gates: Windows everywhere. So now Jenkins everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Questions? Every course has their exams. So I guess if you study well, having zero information in this works year earlier, student can pass exam in 18 December.
So for those of you who will be attending the special day on exam preparation on December 18th, well, definitely this means that you will not be scheduling your own exam on this particular date, because this will become unmanageable just for time perspective for you. So for those of you who wish to attend this session on December 18th, clearly this means that you will have to schedule your exam for some time after December 18th, maybe early January or whatever fits you well.
Okay, next questions. Will we also learn how to configure the slave nodes servers?
Yes, we would be configuring slave nodes attached to our Jenkins instance.
Can junior developers with no knowledge of Jenkins and DevOps can take this course effectively?
Yeah, I believe they can. We are starting from the basics.
So the students should be with some developing experience?
Well, some of the students could be coming from a QA background, I believe. Some other of the students could be coming from developer background. I wouldn't say necessarily dev skills. I would say maybe it would help you if you have general understanding how is the software in today's world prepared, how that the software must be compiled, that the software must be automatically tested, a software must be packaged, published to some locations, then deployed, etc. So you have to have general understanding of how do you do software in today's world.
Another questions. Is there any opportunities besides the certificate after graduation? So what opportunities create these DevOps trainings?
We had a slide about that. This is just to guide you. What can you do with your career furthermore? Of course, this would be up to you to utilize this knowledge that you gain in the course to fulfill some of those ideas within your career. Here we're a training provider, and our goal is to make sure that you do gain this knowledge. After that, you could follow these ideas to improve your career.
And maybe you tell some words about this in your presentation.
Yes.
But can you tell, maybe it will be interesting for our audience, how DevOps transformation happened in one organization? This is some story from real life.
Yeah.
This is not the technology, but the culture thing. You have a lot of things to do, to share.
Yeah, usually there are two approaches, alternative. One is the approach inside out, and the other one, of course, is outside in. Usually the inside out approach starts when there is a desire to learn and start DevOps practices within the team itself. Usually when the team members are excited, they're going to some conferences and they really want to pick up these new skills and technologies. And in that case, they simply go and download a certain open source tool. Let's say we do start with Jenkins. So they provision it within their own infrastructure. They administer it on their own, and then they start creating basic pipelines to learn their way through. And then gradually they're adding more and more comprehensive steps to those pipelines. So these pipelines become much more rigorous. So this is usually the approach which is done from inside out, when people just are excited and they want to experiment and they want to start with these tools and ideas right away. The other alternative, of course, the outside in, is whenever certain team is supposed to be transformed in a DevOps way. And let's say that the transformation decision comes from outside of the team, could be their manager, could be the owner of the company or whatever. So in that case, they would hire some consultants, which would come to the team. And before they do anything, before they jump into deploying tools here and there, first of all, they would do a so-called value stream mapping. That's an exercise where they are mapping out what is the current value stream for this particular team, how they do new functionalities to their application, and how do they deliver those new functionalities to their end customers. This process, in technical terms, it's called a value stream, and the consultants would simply map this out. And then they would sit down with the team over this value stream map and identify where are the biggest hurdles in the process, where are the biggest inefficiencies, if you will, and they will decide to tackle those first. How are they going to tackle those? Well, this is exactly through DevOps ideas and technologies. So sometimes it would mean, well, your team has to introduce a agile methodology for project management, which is, let's say, Scrum or Kanban. Or other times, the tackling would mean, well, here you have to introduce automation, and you have to introduce an orchestration tool to execute that automation, which is Jenkins most of the times, or something else in other cases. and they would go from there. They would be trying to bring the metrics of that value stream up. The technical metric here is called a cycle time. So the consultants would work with the team to bring the cycle time as much down as possible. So imagine if before they start, the team takes like 6 months to deliver new functionality to the end customer, and their cycle time is 6 months. The consultants would work with them until they bring this number down to below 1 month. Ideally, in today's world, the companies which are DevOps champions, companies like Netflix, etc., their cycle time is less than a week. So imagine the time that passes by from the invention of a new idea until the implementation and delivery of this new idea, it's less than a week. So that's how DevOps transformation goes. Hope that answers the question, Nikki.
Thank you. This another question. What international exam is included in this course?
The exam that the attendees should take after the course is the CloudBees Jenkins Expert exam. So CloudBees, again, this is the company which is standing behind the Jenkins open source project, the vendor, if you will. So CloudBees is having their own official exams, and this is the one that you will be striving for.
Okay, thank you. What is the duration of each training? For this, which we currently discuss for DevOps, yes, this is 9 sessions, right?
8 learning sessions and 1 bonus exam preparation session.
Another question, what are the steps to select the student? This I will take answer for this. First, students should review the site ist.gov.g, then apply for the course which you are interested in. We have a dedicated platform for selection of candidates. He will review your CV. There is some artificial intelligence inside, and will create a ranking within the candidates. After this automated rankings, a consultant from our HR team will review all the CVs and will be able to select the most prominent candidates. And after these candidates are selected, a short list of these candidates will be contacted directly via email, assessment, or video interview for further checking that this experience and this candidate is well suited for this specific training. And after this process is finished, we will provide to JITA a list of selected candidates, and they will sign a contract with JITA. At whole process, every candidate can see how he is ranked, how is he ranked within the other candidates for this specific course. Thank you for this question. Hope that it's answered. If there is some other, please use the question answer section on the webinar portal. Second question I see, can you change your course during the trainings? Maybe this is for the tourniquet, but what we have as rules, you apply for a training that you are interested in, and then we review and put you in the short list for the training which you are capable to attend and complete. At least what we see in your application. And if you want to change the course, you can change this before you sign a contract. After you sign a contract, you need to complete the training, attending at least 70% of the time, and sitting for international exam. More details you can see on the contract. And after you complete this training and pass successfully the exam, you can take another training. But in current time frame, it's not feasible, because we need time to select candidates. Then you need to attend the training, and after you finish the training, the project time frame is in the middle, or is finished. I am a system administrator, but I don't have any type of experience in DevOps. I want to become DevOps. Is it enough to start? Ross?
Yes, I would say it is enough to start. And this easily falls under one of the categories that I showed here on this slide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
actually, sorry.
I was going to say that system administrators usually, based on their experience, for them, the second piece of the training would come easily, I would say, the provisioning and administration of a Jenkins instance. But it doesn't harm that they would also learn how to use the Jenkins as from user's perspective to create and evolve pipelines in it.
Another question from David. What is maximum quota for this training? I mean, dev training. If you ask for maximum number of attendees, we have a plan for 20 students for this DevOps training. I think that this is the question. If
yeah, I
it is
believe
different,
this is the
please
question.
ask another one. What will the number of attendees be in each course? The number of attendees are selected on each course different. Some are 10 students in a course, some are 15, some are 20. We have also courses with 13, 18, and 20